Agent Chris.
Pray.
Sorry, it's in orange. It's only 10 I had.
What did I get that I don't want?
You got it figured out. I don't know.
Somebody trying to
That's what I figured. I figured he'd give me somebody he didn't want.
Okay, we're waiting on Tammy. Wait on one person, sorry.
That's all.
Everybody? Okay. We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. Barren County Fiscal Court, June 20th, 2023, 9 a.m. Once the clerk gets settled,
I'm ready.
okay, let's call the roll, please.
Jeff Bott.
Here.
Derek Pettigo.
Here.
Tim Durham.
Here.
Tim Coomer.
Here.
Marty Kinslow.
Here.
Ronnie Stinson.
Here.
Brad Gross. Here. Jessica Rhodes.
Here. The invocation today is now in Ronnie Stinson District. He'd like to introduce his guest here today.
Today I'd like to introduce Neil Toms, a member of the Cedar Hill Baptist Church at Park City. About Neil. Neil is probably one of the best examples I've ever seen as comes to community service. He spent 40 years in the fire service at Park City volunteering. He served as chief, secretary, treasurer, and then just anything else that has to be done around the city of Park City and the community. And also I've served several years with him as a cemetery committee, and he is just a great example of what a person should be. So on that part, Neil, thank you for your service to your community, and I'll turn it over to you.
Okay.
Good bow your head, please. Dear Lord, we want to thank you for another day and another privilege to gather together, Lord. We ask, Lord, as you help this group, give them wisdom and understanding, Lord, as they conduct their business to help our community and our county, Lord. Lord, we ask you to forgive us of our many sins and our mistakes, Lord. Remember all those we need to pray for. Lord, bless us, forgive us of our sins. In Jesus' name I pray.
Amen.
Thank
Okay.
you, Neil, and I hope I get to serve many more years with you.
Hope so too.
Thank you for coming today, Mr. Toms. We have no adoption of the orders of the day today, and now we need to stand for the pledge, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Well, welcome everybody today. Thank you for coming. Thank you for showing interest in Barren County. Today we got a lot to do today in this meeting, so we'll get right to it. We need to approve the minutes of the May 23rd meeting. I need a motion and a second.
So moved, Judge.
Motion by Mr. Coomer. Second by Gross. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. One of the announcements today is the Barren County Fair actually begins June the 27th. Make sure you make plans to go to the fair. I encourage anybody, if you want to volunteer or help out, just let us know at the fair. You have a lot of people that run the fair that have done it for so many years, and they're getting a little up in age. So any help that we can give them as Barren County, we plan to do so to make sure it's a successful fair. I love the Barren County Fair. My kids love the Barren County Fair. We want to make sure it goes really well. So June the 27th is the Barren County Fair out in Temple Hills. So I hope to see everybody there. And it goes through July the 2nd, I think, is that right? July the 2nd or July 1st? When's the final date? Is it the 1st? The last day. So June the 27th through July the 1st, Barren County Fair. Next up, reports, public official reports, County Judge Executive. We need to approve the monthly financial report for May 2023. I need a motion and a second.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Durham,
Second.
second by Pettigo. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. County Attorney report. Approve the County Attorney's monthly settlement report for May of 2023.
Motion.
Need a motion by Botts. Second by Gross. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. County Clerk, we're glad to have you today on Zoom today. We need to approve the County Clerk May 2023 fee report. A motion and a second.
Motion.
Motion by Pettigo,
Second.
second by Coomer. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Sheriff's report. Acknowledge receipt of sheriff's official receipt for property tax bills for 2023. Oil property, subject to audit. Need a motion and a second. Motion by, was that Stinson? Motion by Stinson. Second by Gross. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Acknowledge the receipt of the sheriff's official receipt for property tax bills for 2022, limestone, sand, and gravel property, subject to audit. I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Motion by Coomer,
Second.
second by Stinson. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Need to approve the 2022 sheriff's property tax account settlement. Motion and a second, please. Motion by Kinslow.
Second.
Second by Botts. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Need to approve the 2022 Sheriff's Franchise Tax Account Settlement. Need a motion and a second.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Durham.
Second.
Second by Coomer. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Approve the sheriff's fee settlement for May 2023, subject to audit.
Motion.
Motion by Botts.
Second.
Second by, was that Coomer? Second by Coomer. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Need to approve the payment to Burke's Auto and Towing for Sheriff's 2023 Chevy Tahoe, car number 163, for new car setup and install, $11,276.76. Motion and a second, please.
I make that motion.
Motion by Stinson. Second by Kinslow. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We're moving. Still a lot. Need to approve the payment to MPH Industries Incorporated for sheriff's equipment, $4,182. I need a motion and a second.
Motion.
Motion by Botts,
Second.
second by Pettigo. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we are now into the department reports and committee reports. Coroner, would you like to do a report today? Thank you, Mr. Gibson.
Morning, Judge, Court.
Morning.
Last month, I handed each one of y'all a summary of 2022 and to date for 2023. Right now, we are at 80 to date. We've had 87 calls for service. We have to date transported to Louisville for 16 autopsies. Right now, we have unfortunately had 4 drug overdose deaths so far this year. Last year and 2021, we had a total of 7. Oh, let's see. Any questions, anything you guys want to ask of the coroner's office? That's kind of where we're at right now.
Thank you, though.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing what you do. The county clerk, Elena.
Okay. Well, hey, good morning, y'all.
Good morning.
I'm in Lexington at the Kentucky County Clerk Association Conference, so that's why I'm not there with you in person. But only thing I'll talk about this morning until we get to reimbursement is in May we turned over excess fees of $136,126.63, and for the year we've given Barren County $670,000, just over that for 2023. That's putting us up to 45% of the projected excess fees we plan to give you all, and we're 41% through the year. So just excited to be doing the work for Barren County.
Thank you, and I'm glad it all worked out with the Zoom. Thank you to Barry Key and his group for getting that going. The next one up is the road department.
Good morning, Court.
Morning.
As of the first part of June, we've completed our first mowing cycle around the county. We got that completed in 28 working days for an estimated cost of $29,706.69. Second cycle has started June 5th. Of course, this week we've had 2 rainy days, but we've already probably a third of the way around the county again with 2 tractors. Working awesome. Also, for the past month, the road department helped assist emergency management with a cleanup around the new building. As of last week, the Ramp Road project, which the tile installation has been completed. So that one big major project we've gotten knocked off this year so far. So for the month, we stayed busy pothole patching, tile replacements, ditch work, and tree removal, which the boys are doing again today. Unfortunately, we had 3 trees go down. Since we're getting close to the end of the fiscal year, just wanted to give you an estimate of how much fuel we have used in a year's time. Gasoline, 9,062 gallon. Off-road diesel, 9,181 gallon. On-road diesel, 10,742 gallons. Thus far, and the month's not over yet, we've used 28,985 gallons of fuel so far this year. So, any questions for the court?
I've had multiple emails of just thanking the road department for their great work. Honestly, it's been very refreshing to get. I even got a personal letter yesterday about it. So
Good deal. Like to hear them kind
yes,
of stuff.
it's been wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Jamie. Susan.
We need the jail, Mr. Shirley.
Morning, Court.
Morning.
Last month, we took in 314. We released 309. In fees, admin fees, we collected $2,999.87. In check writing fees, we collected $35. In jail bond fees, we collected $150.84. In medical, we collected $955.69. And miscellaneous fees, we collected 20 cents for a total of $4,141.60. And then our road crews for the month of May, because this is always 1 month behind. For the month of May, they traveled 268.2 miles. They picked up 1,162 bags of trash, 64 tires, 34 wildlife, for a total of 5,720 inmate hours worked. For the year, already they've traveled 1,023 miles. They picked up 6,912 bags of trash, 286 tires, 71 wildlife, and they have put in 31,536 inmate hours. At $15 an hour, they have saved the county $473,040.
Their group has been excellent to work with anytime I needed them to help out, so I just want to say thank you to them. Yes.
Any questions for us?
Thank you all.
Thank
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 you.
you.
Yes. Parks and Rec Department.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So our Take Me Out to the Ballpark event that we had this past Saturday, the 17th, was a huge success. Such a success that we're talking about possibly doing one in the fall this year during our fall league. We don't have all the final numbers, but we brought in roughly around $1,400 from vendor fees this past Saturday. For the month of June, from 6/1 to the current date, we brought in $15,368. Our concessions did $20,549. That's a grand total of $35,917 that we brought in this month. Our regular season spring and softball league is finished. We're now into tournament playing. We've still got 2 more weeks of our tournament play, and that will wrap up our spring and softball season for the 2023 year. That's all I got this morning.
And hopefully no more rain.
Yes, hopefully. No more rain. It's killing us.
Thank you all. You're doing a great job. Sheriff's Department. Okay, not today. Gotcha. Yeah, Mr. Kent Keene is out this week, and but he has been he's already set with our committees and everything, so everything's still good with that. Budget Committee. That is, who's the head of the budget? Is that Marty? Yeah,
Kinslow.
sorry.
Marty, yeah.
Sorry.
All right, we had a meeting on Monday, June 5th, 12 o'clock. The administrative budget committee in attendance that day were myself, Jeff Potts, Fred Groves, Garland Gillum, Mandy Steger, Mike Couchpins, and Kent Keene. We've had 3 items on the agenda that day. One of the items that we discussed was moving our monthly meeting to the Monday before the regular fiscal court meeting. And we will be doing those meetings on Mondays at 4 o'clock. That was the first item that we discussed. Another item that we had on the docket that day was the judge had asked us to consider ordering some Christmas decorations. I know Christmas is a way off, but you got to plan ahead for these things. And where the judge is wanting to get these decorations, if you order them early, you get a discounted price. And now she did a lot better job explaining this. I'm just going to do general terms. She wants to decorate the front of our county building and the sidewalk area in and around the fair and the courthouse. So there's going to be a lot of decorations altogether. And the total on that is $9,641.86. And the budget item, or the line budget for these items is $20,000. So we're well under that budgeted amount this year to do this. And we felt that it would be a good idea
we'll need to run that,
in
yeah.
the committee meeting.
So you need to make a motion, and we'll have to run it through this too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyhow, I'm willing to make a motion that we go ahead and let her order these Christmas decorations. I'll make that motion. Second.
Second was that Gross? Okay, so discussion on that, just to explain, is it's basically for the courthouse, actually. It's just kind of a more professional look for the courthouse in regards to decorations and creating a better look for Barren County at the holiday time. And it will definitely, it's garland for the columns on the courthouse, as well as wreaths and a lighted sign and some other extras to put onto the courthouse. But just to make it more classic. We're working with the city also, me and April Russell with the city, to coordinate the lights on the out of the circle as well as the inside, so that it all looks like it goes together, so we don't look like it's opposite. So anyway, so any other discussion?
My question is,
Yes.
we're saying Merry Christmas, not Happy Holidays.
Yes, it says Merry Christmas on
We're
there, yes.
keeping the theme of Christ's birth.
Yes.
And not, okay.
Yeah, the lighted sign actually says Merry Christmas, and it will go kind of where the landscape is right there in front of the courthouse. Mhm. Yep. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
All right, and then the biggest item on our agenda that day was we had a discussion about the vehicles for the sheriff's department. And the first part of it was, I guess we were looking at the continued use of potholes for the department versus other vehicles. And we had some bids, not only on pothole, but a Chevy Silverado 1500 pickup truck, which this particular one is for police use and be used for that. And we also considered a 2023 Ford police interceptor SUV type vehicle. Just a general description of it. Anyhow, the sheriff was there and Mike Couchins, and we discussed pros and cons of these vehicles. And, well, before I go further, the price of the Tahoes, now this is a negotiated price, was $45,617. For the Ford vehicle, it was $47,212. And the Silverado pickup was $51,076. So obviously the Tahoes were cheaper than the other two vehicles, which made us, for the time being, recommend that we continue to use those as the vehicle that we want to go with in the near future. Just a minute. And this is my summary after that. Our recommendation, based on price, reliability, safety features, cargo space, the department's familiarity with the use of Tahoe. At this time, we want to continue to use those. Additionally, it is cheaper than either Ford vehicle or the Silverado. Although actually that day we said that the sheriff needed to order a Silverado y'all know we lost a vehicle recently that we would allow him to spend extra money because he could have got one of those trucks right then. We had already had it now, but we decided that we would wait on that and maybe we could get another option. Yes, obviously we'd be saving money. But anyhow, it passed in our committee that we're going to recommend he ordering 2 more autos. Right now, the delivery date obviously will be unknown. And we're also want to give them the authority to order an additional vehicle in the near future. And I think it's critical. These vehicles are in high demand. You have to get on a waiting list. As a matter of fact, we just got delivery of 2 Tahoes about a week ago, a little over a week ago. Those were ordered in September of last year. And we have been on a rotation of replacing 2 vehicles a year. Well, obviously, the 2 that we're asking for right now is just to keep us on that rotation. And the reason that we're going to ask for an additional vehicle in the very near future is because we did lose one in an accident recently where the vehicle was totaled. But the good news is that the county will not have to pay for that vehicle. ACO is going to reimburse the county. But we're going to end up getting 3 vehicles, 2 that we were already going to get in rotation, and 1 that we're going to get replaced by ACO. But we need to go ahead and pre-order because you don't know when you're going to get them anyhow. It's going to be months, if not next year. And we don't have to buy them until we get them. So, anyhow, that's our recommendation, and it passed in committee. If anyone would like to make a motion on that.
I'll make the motion that we order those, go ahead and place the order for those 3 vehicles.
Okay, any discussion? Second was Stinson. Right, or no, yeah, you made the motion, Coomer, and then second was Stinson, yeah. Okay, we will do a roll call vote on that.
Jeff Bott,
Yes.
Rick Pettigone.
Yes.
Tim Durham,
Yes.
Tim Coomer,
Yes.
Marty Kinslow,
Yes.
Ronnie Stinson,
Yes.
Greg Rose.
Yes.
Motion's passed. That's your committee, right? You done, Mr. Kinslow? That's all your roles?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Next up is Building and Property Committee.
Okay, we had our special called meeting, 8 a.m. this morning. Jeff Botts, chairman, Tim Coomer, member, Ronnie Stinson, member, guest, Garland, and the judge was present in that meeting, and we discussed line item by line item. We are going to set our regular scheduled meeting at 8 a.m. the day of the regular scheduled fiscal court. So 8 a.m. regular scheduled fiscal court meeting. So we did approve that. Line item 3 was for approval quote of Brown's overhead door for servicing for the EMS building. And I'm going to make a motion for Brown's overhead door for servicing. It's about 12 doors. If you want any more information, Garland has all the details on that for $3,400, and $3,470 is the quote for Brown's overhead door. So I make a motion that we approve $3,470 for Brown's overhead door to repair.
So there's a motion on the floor for $3,470 for garage door repairs, correct?
Brown's overhead door.
Brown's overhead door. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Durham. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Okay,
Motion carries.
Okay. Line item 4, we discussed a quote on the Shine Bright for pressure washing and detailing the building. We decided with much talk on that we were just going to hold off on that till we get a little more plans of what we're actually going to do on the upgrade on the outside appearance. So we'll just push that off so there won't be any motion or recommendation on line item 4. Line item 5, Garland give us update on the 100% what we approved last month. Roof repair is completed, and he gave us some aerial pictures before and after, and it looks great. He was supposed to go down this morning. I don't know if he's made it in time to see if there's any leaks. We've had so many meetings this morning. We had a couple inches of rain last night. He's going to do evaluation after the meeting and see if we see any leaks on that roof repair. And line item 6, update on the tree removal. He gave us some aerial views of the existing trees and then the removal. And all we like now is some stump grinding and waiting on just a little bit of the housing authority is adjacent to our property on some things that we've got on our fencing details to finalize that. I think Mike Richardson's is in on some legal action on some property lines and what we're going to plan on doing to try to save each one of us a little bit of money and some common sense on some existing fence there. And line item 8, we just discussed a little bit about our future plans on the property, and one of the ongoing closed session items that we want to bring up is on a purchase of a property. We have to have some earnest money down on that, so I'm going to make a motion that that we pay $55,000 in escrow with First American Title Insurance Company in Memphis, Minnesota. So that'll be $55,000, which will be an earnest money for the future purchase of a property that we're pursuing. So I've got that in a motion for Judge and Treasurer to write that check for $55,000 in escrow to First American Title Insurance Company.
I have a motion on the floor. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Coomer. Any discussion? We'll do a roll call vote on this one.
Derek Pettigo,
Yes.
Tim Durham,
Yes.
Tim Coomer,
Yes.
Marty Kinslow,
Yes.
Ronnie Stinson,
Yes.
Brad Gross,
Yes.
Jeff Bott.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, that's all, and we had adjournment.
Okay. Thank you. Next up is Emergency Management and Solid Waste Committee. Mr. Stinson.
Emergency management solid waste, we do not meet until next Monday, and that time we'll be changing our meeting date, schedule, and we may have a report for our special call meeting on the 29th. Thank
Okay.
you.
That works. Next up is the Jail Committee.
Jail Committee met Monday, June the 19th at about 8:30. We had one item. Well, first of all, we changed our meeting date to, it'll be 8:30 Monday before the third Tuesday, which is, it will be at 8:30, and we did get that changed. We also had one item up for purchase. The jail needs a new 3/4 ton pickup truck to use to haul the prisoners from back and forth on the road crew. Mr. Shirley has found a truck in Glasgow Don Franklin Ford has exactly the truck he wants. It's a Chevrolet, it's a GMC, 3/4 ton, gas pickup. He will be able to step up if anybody, I don't have the price of the truck written down, but he's asking, we met, me, Tim Coomer, and Marty Kinslow met, and we agreed that the purchase, this will come out of commissary money, of his own money, and so we have agreed for the purchase of the truck. And I would like to hear a motion for the purchase of this truck.
So we have a motion by Mr. Durham to purchase the vehicle through the jail commissary funds. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Kinslow. Any discussion? Do a roll call vote.
Tim Durham,
Yes.
Tim Coomer,
Yes.
Marty Kinslow,
Yes.
Ronnie Stinson,
Yes.
Brad Gross,
Yes.
Jeff Bott,
Yes.
Derek Pettigrew.
No.
Motion passes. Next up, go ahead. Joe, you need to finish? Are you done?
Yes, that's
Oh,
all.
that's it.
all.
Okay, sorry, I didn't want to pass up there. Okay, next up is Parks and Rec Committee, Mr. Pettigrew.
The Parks and Rec Committee met Monday, June the 19th at 10 a.m. We discussed Jackie Browning Park reconstruction, including adding an additional ball field, additional parking, and current parking improvements. And I need to make a motion to approve American Engineer Incorporated to design the contract for Jackie Browning Park improvements for the max amount of $42,000.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Durham. Discussion. This is the design firm that we've already approved to do the work. They just sent us in their estimate to do the planning and design. And it's to redo the front field there at Jackie Browning Park, as well as add additional parking and also work with restrooms and the concession area. So, okay, we'll do a roll call vote on that as well.
Tim Coomer,
Yes.
Marty Kinslow,
Yes.
Ronnie Stinson,
Yes.
Brad Gross,
Yes.
Jeff Bott,
Yes.
Derek Pettigrew,
Yes.
Tim Durham.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
We also discussed purchasing playground equipment with a matching grant for Jackie Browning Park. And I'll make the motion to approve the purchase order to purchase the playground equipment from Little Tykes 50/50 grant, which is $45,645 for the Barren County Fiscal Court portion.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second? Second, was that Kinslow? Gross, sorry. Mr. Gross seconded. Discussion on this. We were actually, by going to the conference last week in Frankfurt, or in Lexington, we were able to talk with some people. We actually had the opportunity to get a 50/50 grant for this playground equipment, and it will go at Jackie Browning Park. So we're really excited about that. Mr. Gross was a part of that, as well as Mr. Pettigrew and all the park committee, Mr. Durham. So we're excited to see that happen. And I think the people will be thankful for that, Jackie Browning Park. Yep.
Don't have to pay for it right now.
Right. Yeah, basically, yeah, we're just basically, this grant is a first come, first serve, so we have to put our name in the hat to get it, and we will get it. He will finish everything up, and we'll set the install date, and when it is installed is when we pay for it. So, thank you all. So we need to do a roll call vote as well. I try to do a roll call and higher amounts.
I have a
Sorry.
question.
Yeah.
I would just like to know what kind of equipment we're getting.
It is it's a $92,000 piece of equipment. It's kind of, I try to say this, and it's not my kids, like your kids can play on it. It's not too tall. You know, it's a multi-age type of equipment. We have a picture of it. I can send that out to everybody. Chris has that. Yeah. And so basically when we're doing the redesign of Jackie Browning Park, we'll include the dimensions with the redesign to put that in.
Have we decided where that money's coming from?
For the
Playground
the playground equipment, we can decide.
We can decide that
Yeah, I was gonna say, we've got some time. We just have to get that in. The grant runs out December 1st, and like I said, it's first come, first served, so we're excited to get that. So we'll do a roll call vote on that.
Marty Kinslow,
Yes.
Ronnie Stinson,
Yes.
Brad Gross,
Yes.
Jeff Bott,
Yes.
Derek Pettigo,
Yes.
Tim Durham,
Yes.
Tim Coomer.
Yes.
Motion passes. Is that it, Mr. Pettigo?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Next up is Transportation Committee.
Transportation Committee met yesterday morning at 7:30 at the Road Department. First line of business was approve the meeting schedule revision to have it on the Monday before court, the same week of court is, on Monday mornings at 7:30. Second item of business, invoice, I'm gonna make a motion for purchase order and payment in the amount of $16,633.45 to repair the last dump truck. For first time in how many years we don't have a dump truck on the property that doesn't run, or, and they're all in good repair now. Not saying something couldn't happen tomorrow, but we sold a bunch of surplus here a couple weeks ago, and we've got everything down there we can actually use now. So I make that motion that we pay that, have that purchase order and that payment.
What was that amount again?
$16,633.45.
Is this the Tri-State International?
Tri-State.
Yes, Tri-State International.
Yes. Second by Stinson. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
We also discussed the need for another salt storage building. I'd like to make I don't think, to get some quotes, we did say we're going to, I don't think that has to be passed in court, but to get some quotes on an extra building for salt, because you never know. We've run close a couple winters and people not being able to get it, so this would just be a kind of a shelter to us in case we did have a bad winter. If we don't, we're going to build it so as if we don't need all the storage, we can use it for a shed to store equipment also. So it'll be a multi-use. So we decided to get some quotes on that. One for 200 ton and one for 300 ton. One we have now is 300 ton, what we can hold right now. So we discussed that. Also, we discussed the need of another trailer. We got two quotes, and it's my recommendation and the recommendation of the committee that we went with Ag Central Co-op. It's a 22-foot tilt trailer we can haul the roller on, and just a lot of other uses, for a price of $8,500. I'd like to put that in the form of a motion to purchase that trailer from Ag Central Co-op for $8,500.
I have a motion by Coomer. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Pettigo. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
We also discussed creating guidelines for new entrance tiles and existing tiles. We're trying to try to draw up an ordinance, go through our county attorney and make it where we set a specific way that we do this, so we don't go back and do one thing for one person and one thing for someone else. So it's all fair and even. We're looking at still replacing tiles, existing and new. Just some guidelines we're wanting to put in is the landowner buys the tile, will install the tile and furnish one load up to 8 ton of rock. Any more needed will be the landowner's responsibility, and just lots of different specifications so that it all meets standards so it's fair to all citizens. We're still working on that. The other thing we discussed is radios in the trucks and at the road department are in bad repair, that they can't use them. Radios, I know everyone has cell phones, but when they're actually working out on the road and have traffic stopped or flagging or whatever, they need instant communication. So this is a very significant piece of equipment that we need for safety, if nothing else. They've been talking to a company, Bettner Communications LLC, and we got an estimate. What they actually got to do is replace the antenna on the tower at Pine Ridge site, and that gets really expensive when you have people climb those towers. I thought maybe our county attorney would do it, but he wouldn't volunteer. But anyway, there's an estimate to replace everything on the tower, all new coax, and the tower, get everything up and running. And what I'd like to get approved, that we not exceed, the estimate is a little lower than $6,500, but in case there's a small amount, I'd like to approve spending up to $6,500 to Bettner Communication LLC for repairing this, the radios for the road department. I'd like to make that in form of a motion.
Okay. What was that total amount? One more time.
$6,500.
$6,500 for radio repairs. Motion by Coomer. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Durham. Any discussion? It's not repairs, it's the tower repair and everything, correct? Yes.
Radios and tower.
Radios and tower, right?
Not to replace the tower,
Just to repair.
climbing the tower and replacing the antenna.
Replacing the
And
antenna,
then
okay.
all
Just
the
making sure she words it.
wiring and coax. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Then the last thing was, we discussed more further, that I brought up last court meeting about the need for our own fuel tanks and buying fuel where it is the cheapest and most convenient. We're getting prices. We've got a price on the tank. There's a lot of specific ways it has to put in through the fire marshal's office and through EPA and lots of things, so we're still working on that, but there's no action need to be taken this time.
Thank you again, and going back to the sale, it went really well in May, and yes, that was a huge thing, and we're able to take that money that was sold and put back into the accounts and be able to replenish those accounts if we need to buy new vehicles and get things, make sure they're all working on the property. So we have no old business, and we'll lead into the new business. We need to approve the payment of claims as presented. I need a motion and a second.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Kinslow,
Second.
second by Stinson. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Need to approve the transfer of funds. I need a motion and a second.
Make that motion.
Motion by Durham,
Second.
second by Botts. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Make sure you're catching, okay. Acknowledge receipt and approve of personnel actions. Need a motion and a second.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Stinson, second by Gross. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Approve the memorandum of agreement with the Brad Office, Technical Assistant Administrative Services in connection with community development activities. $22,500 annually. Before I can explain, I need a motion and a second. Motion by Gross,
Second.
second by Coomer. Okay, so basically the Brad Office does a lot of work for us as currently, but they're representing a 10-county region. They're doing a trial program with us, Park City, and Cave City to have a dedicated grant writer for our county and our two cities. And so each of us pay our own individual part of that. but we will have our own personal grant writer for Barren County at $22,500. That will be their fee, and they will be handling any grants that we need them to be going after for Barren County specifically. So, any more discussion?
Judge, do we have anybody doing that for us now?
No.
Other than,
We do not have a grant writer.
okay.
Now, we can ask the Brad office to apply for us for grants, but typically the Brad office, they'll be applying for like the same kind of grant from multiple counties at one time. By having the direct, we can kind of look outside of what they're currently applying for. Do you know what I'm saying? Whether it's, trying to think of just more specific type grants, whether it be for Parks and Rec or whether it be for emergency management, they can help in that regards.
But this would be only for, this person will only be for Barren County, Park City, and Cave City, correct?
Correct.
But have one person?
Yes. Yep. The city of Glasgow actually has a grant writer. That's part of their job title, but the Barren County has never had an actual grant writer on staff. Nope. Okay, we'll do a roll call vote on that.
Ronnie Stinson,
Yes.
Brad Gross,
Yes.
Jeff Bott,
Yes.
Derek Pettigo,
Yes.
Tim Durham.
Yes.
Tim Coomer,
Yes.
Marty Kinslow,
Yes.
Motion's passed. And like I said, it's the first year for that. If it doesn't work this year, we don't feel like we're getting our money's worth, we don't have to do that the next year, so. Need to approve the appointment to the Barren River Council on Aging Independent Living. Okay, on this one, we have the individual we have not heard back from as if she wants to continue. So I'm going to table this until the special called meeting on June 29th, okay? Because I just want to get confirmation that they want to stay on the panel. So, keep that for the next meeting, okay? Need to approve the fiscal year 2023-2024 Barren River Area Development District dues, $13,247. Need a motion and a second.
Motion?
Motion by Botts. Second by Gross. Any discussion? It's just our annual dues that we pay to the Brad District. Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Need to approve the service agreement with BK Technology Professionals. It's a 2-year contract starting July 1st, 2023, which will be retroactive because they have been doing some stuff for us beforehand, so they're not charging us, for the fees beforehand. Sorry, I'm not discussing some. Motion and second on that.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Durham,
Second?
second by Botts. Discussion, sorry. Basically, this agreement is for them to do an on kind of call normal billing cycle for us, that we can call them for any type of issues, whether it be for the road department, sheriff's office, or any of those individuals, or Helena's, anybody that needs to call these individuals to come in to help us out with technical issues with computers in our office, of course, and just more of a, rather than paying an hourly rate, it's more of a consistent billing cycle. So, and they're helping us actually also with our digital time clock system that we're hoping to implement here in the next month. And they've been great to work with, especially since we came into this and having a whole new setup and everything like that we had trouble with. So, any more discussion? And I know there was concern about the 2-year contract. I've been told also that if we are not happy with the service, we are able to give a notice and out of the contract. There will be no penalty. So, okay. We'll do a roll call vote.
Brad Gross,
Yes.
Jeff Bott,
Yes.
Derek Pettigo,
Yes.
Tim Durham,
Yes.
Tim Coomer,
Yes.
Marty Kinslow,
Yes.
Ronnie Stinson,
Yes.
Motion carries. Need to approve the maintenance agreement with Line Service for the Government Center, $5,957 annual.
Motion?
Motion by Botts,
Second.
second by Coomer. I will speak to this. Being in this building, it has been, just constantly being able to keep everything from having issues. I know Helena can speak to it as well. I don't know if she's listening right now, but, it's been a cold, hot, and we've really had to call on Lines Company a lot for that, so we would be better financially to be into a service agreement with them, so. Yep, she says, yeah, she knows, yep, thank you. And so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Need to approve the annual standing order for the fiscal year 2023-2024. The standing order, motion and second.
So, second.
Motion by Gross, second by Coomer. Discussion, these are just the standing orders that we are able to pay without running them through the courts. They're more of the like reoccurring bills and stuff like that. Payments on bonds, stuff that we're already locked into paying, so. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Need to approve the Community Challenge Grant Memorandum of Understanding with our AARP, sorry, too many words. $45,000 one-time payment used to improve, $4,500, sorry. One-time payment used to improve local community with focus on people age 50 plus. Motion, and before I can talk about it, sorry. Motion second. Motion by Stinson. Second by Gross. This is through the Brad office for the Aging Council, correct? Is that the same thing?
No,
It's separate.
this is Garland.
Garland, this is yours, sorry. Garland, speak to this, please.
Back in March, AARP opened up a community challenge grant to help people geared age 50 and older. There were 3,600 applications for projects, and out of 300, mine was selected as one. It is to purchase 15 portable generators to be deployed to medically fragile individuals and power outages. People on ventilators, feeding tubes, dialysis machines, things like that, that we could take them a generator to run their equipment. So it's 15 portable generators. We were approved. I just need authorization to sign that MOU.
Okay. All right, we have the motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Great job, Garland. Approve the City of Cave City annexation, 3 parcels, northwest corner of Kentucky Highway 90. I need a motion and a second. Motion by Stinson,
Second.
second by Coomer. Discussion.
Do we know how large the area this is, Ronnie? Or is it going to impact our?
It's Highway 90 and Estes Road.
Is that going to affect our tax revenue?
It's Patton Funeral Home, the Place Church, and the Blossom Hill undeveloped subdivision located.
Okay.
Did he answer? Okay, you got it. Okay. We'll do a roll call vote on that.
Jeff Bott,
Yes.
Derek Pettigo,
Yes.
Tim Durham.
Yes.
Tim Coomer,
Yes.
Marty Kinslow,
Yes.
Ronnie Stinson,
Yes.
Brad Gross.
Yes.
Motion carries. Need to approve the agreement between Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet Department of Highways up to $51,986 reimbursement for the resurface of Oil City Road. Motion and second.
Motion.
Motion by Coomer, second by, who was that? Was that Durham? Or Pettigo, sorry. Second by Pettigo. These are discretionary funds that we were awarded. I've been told that we should be receiving more come July, once more funding becomes available, but this is what they were able to give us during the month of June. So, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We'll get that one done. Need to approve the committee appointments as presented. Okay. These are, the first one up is the Economic Authority. The 3 nominees I will be nominating. Do we need to nominate them individually and pass that individually, or can I do it all at once? Okay. Economic Authority, Barren County, the 3 appointments we'll be making will be Larry Glass. He will replace Carl Dickerson. Brad, and that's Larry Glass Jr., sorry. Or Dean, Larry Dean, sorry. Brad Gross will replace Mark Bowman, and Irvin Sorrell will be reappointed. So those are 3 appointments for the Economic Authority. I'll need to just do that one and then do the next ones, right? So that's what I'm proposing for the Economic Authority Board replacements. Do I have a motion and a second for that?
Make that motion.
Motion by Kinslow,
I'll second.
second by Durham. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. All opposed, sorry, motion carries. Okay, Ethics Commission. Troy Robertson will replace Tony Hodges. Janelle Pettigo replaces LaToya Drake. Larry Davenport to replace Melvin Tommy Garrett. These are 4-year, these are 3-year terms, so. I need a motion and a second. Motion and a second before we can talk.
I make that motion.
I'm sorry, motion by Coomer,
Second.
second by Stinson. Any discussion? I've talked to each of the people, and they're more than willing to do it, so. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, the Highsville Cemetery Board appointments, these are 3-year appointments, except for the fiscal court member, and that is Mr. Coomer. Mary Ruth Jesse to be reappointed, and Linda Morrison to be reappointed. Need a motion and a second.
I make that motion.
Motion by Coomer, second.
Second.
Who was that, Pettigo? Is that Pettigo? Yeah, sorry. Second by Pettigo. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Library Board. These are 4-year appointments. The Marty Kinslow will be replacing John Canister, and Wilma Bennell will replace Cecile Garman. I need a motion and a second. Motion by Stinson.
Second.
Second by, I think Durham got you. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Planning Commission, Joint City County, 4-year appointments. Tommy Gum will be reappointed, as well as Eddie Atnip will be reappointed. I need a motion and a second.
Motion.
Motion by Botts.
Second.
Second by Coomer. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. I'm going to table, the Tourist and Convention Commission. I have to wait to hear back from some people on that one. I'll make that nomination at the June 29th meeting. So that's all of my committee appointments today. I just need another week on that one. So, thank you all. Okay, need to approve the fiscal year 2023-2024 salary and pay as presented, effective July 1st, 2023. I need a motion and a second.
I make the motion.
Motion by Kinslow,
Second.
second by Gross. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Approve the Sheriff's Office payment for the 2 Chevrolet Tahoes. I need a motion and a second.
Motion?
Motion by Botts.
Second.
I think that was Gross. Motion, a second by Gross. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Appoint Deputy County Judge Executive Garland Gillum. I need a motion and a second. Who was that by? Was that
Motion.
Stinson made the motion?
Second?
Who was the second? Was that Botts?
Yes.
Okay. Any discussion? I will say Garland, and this is, Garland's being appointed to this position. Bo Jones was in this position. He's actually stepping to become a SRO officer in our schools, which is filling a void that we needed. And he is excited about that opportunity. This is everyone's, this is a okay transition, and it's best for everybody. And Mr. Gillum is more than excited to serve in that role. And he will do a great job as that, and we're excited to have him. So, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. And that is for, that's for one, we do it each year, so. All right, let's make sure you understand that, so, okay. Next, we have to appoint a county treasurer. We have to do this every year at this time. Is it for the term? Hers will be for 4 years. Okay, sorry. It is for 4 years. Okay, so Garland's is for 4 years, okay. Unless changes. Treasurer, Garland's for 1 year, sorry. The treasurer is for 4 years. That's right, yes. So we're appointing a county treasurer for a 4-year term starting July 1st, 2023, and she will go till the end of, after the 4 years, basically 4 years from this date. So the treasurer we're appointing today will be Amanda Steger. I need a motion and a second. Motion by Gross.
Second.
Second by Coomer. Any discussion? I will say for what Mandy was thrown into, within a 24-hour range since then, it's been a learning curve for everybody, for her as well as anything. She has taken it in stride, and every chance she gets, she's done a great job. So we're very thankful to have her. So
Yes.
yes. And all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay. First reading ordinance 681 of reapportionment board recommendations. Any motion and second before we can talk about it?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Kinslow, second by Coomer. Okay. Mr. Staples and Helena are here today with us to help on answering some of these questions, if you have any. Who wants to start? Helena, you want to start? Okay.
I can. Okay. So can y'all hear me okay?
Yes. Yeah, we can hear you good.
Okay. The reapportionment board, we met June the 2nd, and then we met again last week. I can't remember the date. I'm sorry. I want to thank Patrick Staples. First of all, he has done amazing work. We're very blessed in Barren County to have such an asset from the BITS office. I don't think we know as a county what we've got, but he's done wonderful work. He puts so much time into drawing these maps, not only for our magistrate districts, for our precinct lines, and then we're also working with Barren County School Board, which that's completely different than what we're going to talk about today. On that board, we have Patrick Staples, Brad Gruden, Jody McCouchin, our 2 election commissioners sat in on that, Pat Scott and Mike Harris. They're not voting members, but they gave a lot of great insight for elections, and we're really excited to present to you all this map. What we're proposing is going to clean up the lines just a little bit, not a huge change for our magisterial districts, but we hope you like them. District 5, 4, and 6, there's some minor adjustments there that Patrick can show you. 1, 3, 7, and 2, no changes for y'all. Our precinct lines, the State Board of Elections asked us if you can, they said this is the time to change, or make any changes that you can. We're hoping to go from 25 precincts down to 14. That'll be a huge cleanup for Barren County, and we're just excited to be able to move forward and progress our county, and we're hoping that the school board follows us. So Patrick, can you show them those proposed maps?
So hopefully in your packets, you have gotten these maps that we prepared for you. You can see the existing magistrate maps. Still 7 precincts, districts. And they probably would have been okay the way they were, but as Helena stated, the State Board of Elections says this is the time to clean up anything you want to do with the voting centers the way they are now and not voting in individual precincts. It's just a good time to take care of these lines. So just basically a house cleaning.
And it's a big savings for the county whenever you're trying to fund, if they ever change the law to go back to precincts only, then we would have to be able to support 25 precincts. So we can, for funding purposes, also 14 is way cheaper than 25.
So there's a lot of consideration taken into effect when we were working on the lines, and as far as making sure that the magistrates were filling their districts. That was a big one, and try to keep your voting centers, like she said, if they ever did have to go back to voting by precinct, about every voting center is located in a district, with the exception of 7, and I think Haywood is right there beside 7, and so is the Barren County High School. So they're really close proximity to that district. There are a few changes. Like she said, those were affected were 4, 5, and 6 mainly, and there was one little area in 7 that was just a geographical location correction that we had to make because of the loop where Lexington Drive turned into Old Mufferville Road. The loop severed that, and I don't know whether it wasn't caught in the last reapportionment, but you can't drive down Lexington Drive and get to Old Mufferville Road. So we got to go down Beaver Trail, up to the loop, then down to Old Mufferville Road. So, and it only affected one house, and there was nobody living in it when they done the census, so there was no population change in that district either. As you can see on the proposed magistrate district, you've got this map in front of you here. The areas that are hatched up here at the top, basically we're just squaring that up, using Old Mufferville Road as a boundary line between 4 and 6, and putting some of that, what we call a dog ear of 5 back into 6. So it just squares it up, cleans it up a lot. I don't have the exact number of changes in front of me, but I'm thinking there was 200 to 500 people affected by this change. And I know that Magistrate Toomer had expressed some concerns about the road mileage, but we haven't got to that yet to figure out the amount of roads that's being changed. But he's given some back and gaining some too. So it's all balanced out. I don't know if she mentioned this or not, but we have to equally as much as possible within 5%. And I think
Yeah, I was going to say that.
so, they're very balanced. I think the difference is 1.8% between all the magistrate districts as far as the total population. Now, the voting precincts are a different story. They have to be based on registered voters. We obtained a copy of the database of registered voters for Barren County from the State Board of Elections. We had to scrub that data quite a bit because their format was a little bit different than ours as far as the way they put apartments in their addresses. So when we go to what they call geocode, the addresses, where it puts a location so they can put it on the map to find out where they are, we had quite a bit of work to do on that, just because mainly apartments, they have some roads spelled wrong. And I think, Ashton, you can verify this. You have to put it in the way they put it on their card, is that correct? So by law, they have to put in the addresses the way that people give it to them, so. There was another page in there that showed growth. I don't remember the exact number for the 2010 census, but I think it was just over 42.
I can give you those numbers, Patrick. And for the 2010 census, Barren County, we had 42,173 individuals, and in the 2020 census, we've grown to 44,485.
And there's one chart in there I provided you that shows the growth by the district. District 7 had the largest growth. Of course, that's on the southern part of the city, to the south of the city, we're Haywood area. And then that also included several apartment complexes that have been built in the last 10 years. So I'm sure you're all aware that, that's been a big thing in Barren County as apartments.
So we approve this today as the first reading, and then it goes, just to explain that process so they understand, like that it will go, and then we submit it to the paper, correct? And then we'll do a second reading after that. Is that kind of it was something to do too with Frankfurt as well. Do we submit to Frankfurt as well?
There's a 20-day
Yes.
20-day time period from that advertisement that the public has their opportunity to speak on the proposal. And then if nothing comes with that, then you'll make a second reading, and then it will be presented to the state.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Thank you, though. I'm sorry.
To talk about the precincts just a little bit, like she said, we were going from this, which looks like a big plate of spaghetti to a lot of people, and that's calmed down from what it has been in years past, according to Joe David on the reapportionment board. but going from 25 to 14 is going to be a huge help to the county court clerk's election time. As far as reporting, it should be quicker, maybe, I'll say that, and because there's just fewer to report. But even though we have the voting centers, they still have to report by precinct. So they still had to give the results for all 25 precincts. We got it down to 2, and that was, like I said, the biggest challenge is keeping those as equal as possible and staying within the 5% of registered voters. But I think that it all came down in the end to a difference of 1, 2, let's see, I've got that written here somewhere. They're all within 2.4% of each other, so. Any questions on those lines? And I will leave I bought some large maps that have a little more detail on than these 8.511s. You just can't get much detail on those. And I think I provided the court clerk with a digital copy as well. I don't know if she sent those out to you. But if you need additional maps, I know we met with the individual magistrates that were affected by the changes and showed them a blow-up of the area that were changed, and I think they were all good with that.
Thank you,
Patrick, you might just mention the requirements for the line changes. We can't just move the lines. They have to meet certain criteria.
Right. You have to follow physical boundaries such as streams, roads. You can use city limit lines, but it's not a good idea because sometimes those change, and then you have to resubmit during the 10 years if they annex. I know there is one area in Cave City that uses the city limits line on the precinct line, but it's not changed. It's like a big radius off of Interstate 65. But you also have to stay within a census block, which they follow those same guidelines as far as following physical boundaries, so it's not too bad, but you just got to make sure that you don't cross any of those block lines as well.
If approved, Patrick, these changes take effect January 1,
Of 2024.
2024.
That's correct.
Yes, so we'll have to submit this to the state board of elections, so no one will be affected before the November 7th election day. This will all happen, we'll be prepared for the primary election as when these changes will take effect.
Yep.
Primary 2024.
Thank you, though. Seriously, yeah, and from what I understand, Helena, like you're saying, by having Patrick and doing what he did, it makes this process a lot easier. She didn't hear me that. That's just right.
Yeah, we just cleaned it up, guys.
Yeah.
It just really, it'll be better, I think, for the magistrates. I know District 5, Marty, we talked with you and showed you that dog here that Patrick refers to. I mean, just taking that little section and giving it back to 6, it just cleans up your district line. And Lonnie, yours is the same way, and Tim, Coomer, we're just squaring you off there. I think you'll like it better. And then for the precinct wise, it really cleans it up for us, and it'll make the process much better for us. And of course, like I said, we're waiting on the school board, but we hope that they go with the proposal that Patrick has done for them. It will really help. I mean, currently in one precinct, we have 3 different ballot bases because we have 3 different school boards in one precinct. So I know last year, Ashton, you can help me. I think we had, was it 35 different ballot bases or 37 last November's election? And a lot of that has to do with just, our lines need cleaning up.
Gotcha. Okay, we have a motion and a second. We'll do a roll call vote on the first reading ordinance 681, reapportionment board recommendations.
Now, is this just on the, that we're talking about now, just totally about the cleaning up of the district, that's what we're doing? Correct?
So what you're doing, we have to do the reapportionment.
Oh, yes.
And so this is the first reading of the recommendations of the board.
It has nothing to do with the voting precincts position.
Right, yeah, that they won't affect, he's saying it won't affect where the voting precincts are currently.
We are keeping the same exact 9 voting centers that we've used this year, this May, this past election. We feel comfortable at the county board of elections. They are set on those current 9 voting centers. Tim, we don't plan on changing them unless, they don't work out in November for some
I'd like to
reason.
see 10, I promise you. But I still want to speak for my district and people of Easter and school. I always want to speak. Every time I'm pushing for you, I'd like to see that back open. So I just want to speak for you guys, and, every time I'm in court.
And so basically today, like we're just talking about, it's just nothing to do with the election locations. We're dealing more with just the precinct lines and the changing of the, and the reducing of the, sorry, I'm lost track of thought. No, we're not changing, we're not reducing the magistrates, we're reducing the precincts. Yes, sorry, I couldn't think of the word, sorry. Okay, so we've got a first and a second, we need a roll call vote.
Derek Pettigo,
Yes.
Tim Durham,
Yes.
Kim Coomer,
Yes.
Marty Kinslow,
Yes.
Ronnie Stinson,
Yes.
Brad Gross,
Yes.
Jeff Bott.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you all. Thank you. The second reading ordinance of 680, an ordinance enacting and adopting a supplement to the Code of Ordinances of the County of Barren County. Need a motion and a second.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Kinslow, second by Gross. Any discussion? We'll do a roll call vote on that as well.
Tim Durham,
Yes.
Tim Coomer,
Yes.
Marty Kinslow,
Yes.
Ronnie Stinson,
Yes.
Brad Gross,
Yes.
Jeff Bott,
Yes.
Derek Pettigo.
Yes.
Motion carries. We are not doing anything with the letter of restitution regarding the four-wheelers today. That's something that I'll deal with the Commonwealth Attorney on that before we can do that. Correct, Mandy? Yes. Okay. So we'll table that to the next. Approve the American Rescue Plan Act, state and local fiscal recovery fund expenditure policy resolution. Motion and second before I can discuss.
Motion.
Motion by Stinson.
Second.
Second by Coomer. This is an agreement with Compass Advisors, basically to handle our ARPA reporting. Almost every county in the state of Kentucky did this whenever they were given the ARPA funds. They had let these individuals handle it, and you're going to hear from the attorneys that represent this group as well. And they make sure that everything you're doing with ARPA and reporting-wise is done correctly and legal. And so they're going to help us to make sure that everything is done and has been done correctly so that we don't deal with any kind of repercussions of doing it the wrong way, and not just our administration, but in previous. So I feel like this is a good thing for Barren County to do this after speaking with them last week at the conference. So any more discussion? Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. The next thing actually is a follow-up to this, is approve this Stites and Harbinson PLLC engagement agreement. Motion and second before I can discuss. Motion by Gross.
Second.
Second by Coomer. This is basically the attorney firm that will basically step forward to say that everything you've spent, they have validated and approved and just covers us legally with our ARPA spending. So motion and second. So I need all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Agreement for program administrative services. What is this one? Administrative services program. What is that one? I think that's that one. Yeah, sorry. Okay, I need a motion and a second.
Motion.
Motion by Coomer. Second. Second by Durham. I think he got you. Sorry. This is the same thing. It's all these three documents, the ARPA, the policy resolution, the Stites and Harbison, and this are all connected for them to represent Barren County to make sure everything's been done correctly. So, any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We're almost there, guys. Any closing remarks? Just a reminder, don't forget Barren County Fair. Seriously, if you want to volunteer, if you know of anything that you want to help with, please let us know. June 27th is Barren County Fair. Do not forget, support your local fair. Next fiscal court meeting will be a special call meeting on June 29th, 2023, and it will be the second reading of the budget, and we'll get all that done that day, as well as closing out the fiscal year. And anything else, any other announcements? Nothing? Any other announcements?
He's going to be in the catfish wrestling.
Yeah. Yes, Catfish Wrestling is June 27th. I expect to see everybody out there. We're deciding on which the magistrates are going to get in first, so it is seriously awesome. I love our county fair. I want everybody to support it because I think it's one of the greatest things ever. So I need a motion and a second to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Coomer. Second by, who was that, Pettigo? Yes, ma'am. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.